What's up guys, Anton here, and I quickly wanted to let you know that the video you're about to watch is actually clipped from a podcast I recorded almost 18 months ago. And as you'll see in this clip, I share a revelation or an idea that the team and I had on one of our team meetings, and I share what I thought it would lead to. And after 18 months, it's clear that what we hypothesized actually came true, and it's helped our business in a lot of ways. So the goal is you could watch this, implement what I teach in this episode into your own business, and hopefully have similar results to what we've been able to achieve. So without further ado, let's start the video. Today's episode, as the title states, I'm talking about how 10 minutes can change your year. And that might sound crazy, but it's something that just came up on our Monday meeting team call. Literally, somebody in the team had an idea, and we spent about 10 minutes on it. And I really do believe this is going to just completely change our revenue and our profit and more than the next year of business. So sometimes little things, little tweaks can have massive impact. And, you might be familiar with this concept already called the butterfly effect. And as defined by Wikipedia, the butterfly effect is the sensitive dependence on initial conditions in which a small change in one state of a deterministic nonlinear system can result in large differences in a later state. So again, basically a small change now can lead to huge differences later on. And typically this is discussed with weather patterns and in quantum mechanics. But as a business owner, that's where my expertise lies. I have fully seen this be true when it comes to how we run our businesses, whether that be through automations, marketing, really any part of the business. So in this episode, I want to speak about that exact thing that came up with us, how we're implementing it, and how I think you should as well, not just in this part of your business, but in many more. So first off, you might be aware of this if you're, an old school podcast listener, if you've been listening for a long time. But in our businesses, email marketing makes up about 30% of our monthly revenue. For us, it's actually a little bit higher. So a lot of this is kind of our evergreen emails in our flows. So things like our initiation campaigns, our abandoned cart campaigns, our post-purchase flows, our promotion flows, the ones that are just always running in the background. That makes up a portion of that revenue generated from email marketing. The rest comes from weekly campaigns that we send out to what I call our broadcast list. And our broadcast list is everybody on our email list, regardless of where they came in from, but people that are no longer in one of those evergreen promotions. So maybe it's a customer that bought over 14 days ago. Maybe it's somebody that opted in for a coupon code and has just been on the email list and is out of all the normal automated flows. But that broadcast list is obviously the majority of our email lists because they've been building up and continue to build up every day in the background as everything else is happening. Now, with those broadcast lists, what we do is send them weekly email campaigns. So every month, we basically have 4 different weekly campaigns that we would send them, depending on the month. It could be 4, it could be 5, but they're receiving 1 a week. Typically, they go Monday through Friday because those are the best days for opens and clicks. And there's 3 different campaign types that we'll use. So all of them have different objectives. That's why there's 3 different types. But the content within those emails does change from week to week. So why am I telling you all about this, right? This isn't an email marketing episode, but what we're typically doing in our businesses is on our Monday team meeting calls that we do virtually on Zoom is we plan about 3 weeks out. So we obviously know what's going out the week of, we know what's going out the week after, and we know what's going out the week after that. And the team is working on creating the content, creating, obviously the copy, the words, creating the image assets that go with it. If the emails, the campaign is for a promotion, we're working on the promotional assets like the page, like any graphics we need for that on the actual website, like any graphics we need for social. And again, we're doing this typically on like a rolling 3-week schedule. Now, what's good about it is we have enough time to get the job done, right? We have enough time to always not be like last minute, like, oh no, we didn't complete this. But what we realized is we could do better. Like there's more opportunity if we had more time to devote to different weekly campaigns. So this is something, again, that's been happening for I don't even, years, right? Years. But what happened finally on our team call this Monday is on the team call, somebody said, you know what, like we have these next 3 weeks planned out. What are we doing after that? And normally the response would just be, oh, we're going to do this type of campaign this week, this type of campaign this week, this type of campaign that week. And he said, why don't we just like plan the next 3 months? And thought, okay, like, why not? We're all here. Let's just do that. So typically where we have these rolling 3 weeks of dates, I went ahead and I just typed out like all the dates going into January of next year. So what is that? September, October, November, January. So 4 months. We actually typed out all those dates for each of those weeks. And then using those 3 campaign types that we typically send, we went ahead and we just alternated what type of campaign was going to be sent each week. And then we went a step further and said, okay, this is the type of thing we're going to talk about in this one. This is the promotion we're going to run in this one. This is going to be the content for that one. And we literally, instead of just being rolling 3 weeks, now we're 4 months out. So that might sound obvious to people, right? Like, well, why didn't you do that years ago? I'll tell you, I don't know why. Sometimes it's that simple, right? Like, I didn't know why. But what we realized now that we spent 10 minutes on this and we literally have the next 4 months written out week by week of what is going to be sent out to our broadcast lists. Then obviously we know based on that what pages need to be created. Again, what copy needs to be written, what image assets do we need to have created from our graphic design team. Now that we have all this, here's the beauty of it. We don't just always have to be 3 weeks out with content that's created, that's ready to go, because some of it, right, out of all this content is content that could be created and emails that can be written literally within a day, within an 8-hour shift on our team. A whole week could be done in a day. But now we know, okay, this one coming up in 4 weeks, and this one coming up in 7 weeks, and this one coming up in 10 weeks, and this one in 11 weeks. We know the ones where we see from our experience, there's massive opportunity and there should be more of an effort going to those. Now those, we don't have to be 3 weeks out, right? We don't have to work on the schedule of, okay, in 3 weeks we have this promotion, which we know can do amazing. Let's start now. Now we can start for some of them 4 months in advance. I'm not saying, and this is important too, I should say this, I'm not saying we're going to spend 4 months on any weekly campaign, nor do I think anybody should do that. But now that we have everything mapped out further, again, a 10-minute process, why didn't we do it sooner? Now that we have that though, we can know, okay, let's have this one ready, 4 weeks in advance. That way, if there's anything that we notice or anything that we think, oh, this would make it better or that would make it better, we have the time to devote our developers' resources to it, right? Maybe to build custom pages for it, or maybe to just, develop new products, whatever that may be. But again, it's something that I already see the impact of, because now we have some content, the simpler content that's already created, that's not going out for, 8 weeks from now, that normally we wouldn't even have on the calendar yet. And now we're putting that extra time towards the projects where we think the real opportunity is. So just wanted to share that, guys. I don't know. I hope that's helpful for you if you're listening. Again, that's how it applies, like the butterfly effect applies to something that literally just happened. That's why I wanted to share it. But again, I've seen this happen with all different parts of our businesses. So I guess the main thing I would say is if you are planning content or anything like that, it's better to have it further out in advance so you can schedule time accordingly. But also, whenever you're looking at things you can do in your business, right? Different changes you can make or tweaks, there are always easier wins to be made. There are always these like little shifts that over time can lead to you being in a totally different place, both in your life and in your business. On the business side of it, I'm actually going to link to another podcast that I recently recorded. And it's about how you don't need to make this hard on yourself, or it doesn't need to be that difficult. And I share a bunch of easy wins that have this same type of impact. So check out a link in the description for that as well. I think it should really help you out. It might actually be a YouTube video, but it'll be there for you regardless. And with that being said, guys, that's it for this episode. If you don't have a store yet and you want to get started the right way, again, and like use the whole principle of the small things with the big results, that's exactly what I share with you inside of Dropship Lifestyle. And the perfect place to get started with that is dropshipwebinar.com, which will be linked up below. And as always, guys, if you got value from this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you can go over to Apple Podcast and leave a review, preferably 5 stars if you're liking it. And with that being said, we're here every Monday and Thursday morning, and I will talk to you in the next one. See you, everybody.